Hello. If you had the opportunity, if you were presented with a mission to deliver a powerhouse call of transformation, of checking in, of support, would you be able to do it without any planning? Tonight, we get to find out. My name is Jonathan Navi, and I am joined by the Director of Accountability, Ryan Turley, all the way from Santa Barbara. I am in Phoenix, and we are both excited to be here tonight to see what can be pulled from the ethers into the present moment if somebody just holds the initiative to do so. Because it can be a regular old day, it can be a down day, or it can be an up day. Like I've always said, it's up to you to set the tone. So why not have some fun with it? Let's get started. Welcome to the Leading Man Initiative, our weekly call of men's support, men's camaraderie, teamwork, and the holy trinity of it all. We'd like to start off with a little prayer to make sure that we are settled in, fully present, ready for what may come. And it is a prayer of gratitude, so feel free to center yourself, close your eyes, hand on your heart if that gives you a deeper connection to yourself. Let's start off with 3 deep inhales and exhales. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, God, for allowing us to be here tonight. Thank you for allowing us to check in within our brotherhood. Thank you for giving us the strength to wake up every morning and to keep going every day throughout the day. Thank you for the goodness, the blessings, the health, the joy, the prosperity that you flood into our lives every single day. Thank you for absolutely everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful. And thank you for all the blessings and protection that you lay upon our families, our pets, our friends, our communities, and our earth. Thank you for allowing more and more healing energy to come through the open channels that you have prepared for us. Thank you for preparing us to be the light in somebody's day just because we were there. Thank you, God, for giving us the privilege to be able to contemplate things that affect our identity, our self-image, our health, and the way we behave. Thank you, God, for absolutely everything. In the name of all that is good and all that is God, thank you for this beautiful call. Heavens, yes, we are so blessed. Amen. I am complete. With that, I'd like to pass it over to Mr. Turley to give us a little drop-in in a way that only Ryan Turley can. Take it away, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Navi. Grateful to be here. And staying right now, grounded in this present moment. Closing your eyes if you are comfortable or in a space that allows you to do so. Facing your hands, palm side up, resting on your legs or whatever is comfortable for you. And taking a few deep grounding inhales and exhales. Really sighing out on those exhales, releasing everything from the day, the past week. Clearing out what no longer serves you as you get rooted into the now. Now I want you to do a quick, gentle body scan to help you get more present and grounded. starting at the top of your head, feeling your awareness there. And allowing that awareness to slowly move down your face and back of the head, gently making its way down to your neck and throat, feeling it flow down your shoulders, past your upper arms, to your elbows, forearms, and hands. And with your awareness here now at your hands, clench your fists. Nice big clench and inhaling and exhaling, relaxing your hands, palms again facing up to receive. Now bringing that awareness up to your chest and upper back. Feel it flowing down your rib cage and spine. Past your stomach, solar plexus, down to your pelvis and hips, feeling it flow down your upper legs to your knees, flowing down your shins and calves to your feet and toes, and clenching in your toes as you inhale and exhale, relaxing your toes completely. And just feeling this awareness in your entire body, every cell. Now bringing your awareness in to your breath, just for a moment, as you begin to visualize the time you received great abundance, whether this was in love, in money, whatever that looks like for you. Could be receiving a big unexpected amount of money or a vehicle or whatever it was. Bringing in that moment, living it fully in your mind. And I want you to really focus on what emotions you had during this. And in particular, where in your body you feel it. And now pinpointing those emotions and that feeling in your body, breathing into it. And on that inhale, you intensify that emotion. And on that exhale, you expend it out, that feeling, that emotion out into your body, tuning your body to that frequency of abundance. And I want you to pick another moment. Same thing, same abundant principle. A time where you received abundance in your life. Where did you feel that in your body? Feeling those emotions. Now, with that visualization perfectly laid out and played in front of you, breathing into it and expanding that vibration out into your body. And now, really sitting here for a moment, feeling that frequency from these past abundant moments, and just feeling that energy pulsating and vibing through your body with palms open up, letting the universe know you are ready to receive more of this abundance. And taking a hand and placing it on your heart, breathing into your heart now, sending waves of gratitude and thanking the universe for all it has provided and all it will provide. And you may tell yourself, I am abundant. I am abundant. I am abundant. And three big thank yous filled with gratitude. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And coming back into your body, maybe bending your neck side to side, wiggling your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, opening your eyes. I'm complete. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. That was phenomenal. With that, I'd like to share a drop in with you, an exercise. More of an exercise than a meditation, but still requires this closed eyes presence. If you'll join me, getting back to this place of safety, this place in your body, this place in your mind, heart, and soul. And just begin breathing deeply at your own relaxed pace. And allow the canvas of your mind to go blank, dark. Be drawn to a void in the canvas of your mind. What feels like emptiness, which is impossible because if you are in the emptiness, how can something be empty? Keep breathing, relaxed, confidently, each breath giving you strength and clarity. You don't need to know what that clarity is, just know that it is assimilating within you, whatever it may be. This little exercise is where your higher self tells on you to you. As you sit in the void, as you are at peace and unafraid, you will hear words. And these words, when you first hear them, will not bellow, will not be clear. Most likely they will be echoes. It's up to you to find the resonance of those words to see how accurate they really are to your present moment, to your daily life. Some words may hit you like a ton of bricks, some may barely touch you. Take note of this awareness for yourself. Because as the call, so the echo. Which means that sometimes we hear certain things that we think is ours, but we're really hearing the echo coming from something somewhere else. So let's start with an easy one. Anger. 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 Now take a deep cleansing breath and release. Love. 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 Deep cleansing breath. Opportunity. 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 Deep cleansing breath. Hate. 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 Deep cleansing breath. Another deep cleansing breath for that one. Two more. Futility. Futile. utility. Deep cleansing breath. This last one is a statement. See how it lands. See how it sticks or flees. I am powerful. I am valuable. I really love myself. It's okay if you want to keep these last three statements, but allow yourself the freedom to give yourself that cleansing breath anyway. Come back to your body and awareness as the canvas in your mind begins to brighten with the truth of your physical existence. And reflect on the things that stuck quickly, good or bad, negative or positive, and the things that tried to run away from you as soon as you heard it. This is just a barometer to see if you're really where you say you are. The little things make the biggest things even bigger. So check the tiny things before they develop into a snowball, an avalanche of something you're going to have to clean up anyway. Clean as you go. Sow the call as the echo. Seek the call, seek the truth before you respond to the echo. Bring awareness to your hands, your fingers, your neck, your toes, your feet. Begin to move around. And if you must, shake out the energy. Please do. And come back with your eyes open just as soon as you're ready. I am complete. Thank you for your drop in, Mr. Turley. I want to say that it was a huge activator. Um, for me, the words pulsing and pulsating have a major effect in a meditative state. They really uh, create a visual that I sense in my body. And as you had us sharing, saying, I am abundance, and everything that you shared, instead of just constructs or abstract words, I felt the representation in color, in energetic ripples as it pulsated through. So it was a great exercise to ground down, become present, and go wherever we need to go. So thank you for that. I am complete in my reflection, and I'd love to open it up for you.
Yeah, that's interesting that you're saying that because I appreciate your exercise as well. And a few of those I had some of them I had like visualizations that came and other stuff, but the first one I think was anger. And the first thing that I like appeared was just red. There's just the color red for that. And then love was just like a just the feeling of being held and embraced. And then for hate, for me, like what I saw was just like a black hole, like not in the galaxy, but like a black hole. And like just saying like anger leads to nothing good. Like um and then for the last ones, the I am statements that really sticks out to me was the first one, I am powerful. Immediately I felt in my solar plexus. And then I felt it shoot up, and the last two were it shot up from my solar plexus like up towards my heart chakra, and the last two hit right in the heart. So it like just anchored like those I am statements in. Um, it was just powerful, and it made me think a lot too of something that I've been wanting to do more on my own. It's just like sitting without devices, without reading, without just by myself, doing that alone inner work. And that was just like a small sampling of that, of just like being alone with yourself and letting your inner creativity, your inner feelings come out, because we're so saturated in this day and age with constant instant gratification, instant stimulation. And I think a lot of that just deep inner work involves blocking all that out and just being present with ourselves. So I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm complete.
Thank you, thank you. That was beautiful. Love the description. It's interesting because we each have our own experiences in these exercises. And when we open it up to share, we get to see a multiverse of what any of the words that any of us are saying on the call have on each of our consciousness. So I really appreciate being able to share those experiences, and thank you. All right, we're going to move along to the part of the call that's called the check-in. And at the Leading Man Initiative, we really honor confidentiality, where there are obviously a lot of things that um, can benefit men, women, doesn't matter who it is. This part is very sacred. It is where we don't just build trust, but see the evidence of it. So I am going to pause this recording, and we'll be back once we are complete with that. And just really excited that we're doing this. And we're back from sharing and pouring our hearts out from the last week. And I will say that I am very proud of where you're at, Turley, and I love everything that you're doing, along with the thinking that goes along with what you are producing in your life, the evidence of the being that is Ryan Turley. And as a friend and a brother, I have to tell the world that I really admire your work ethic, your work, the way you communicate, and the way you just got a certain aspect of your life down. Which brings us to the topic at hand. And the Leading Man Initiative started from a need, not a greed. It started from friends, men that had conversations that when other people started to listen in, thought and voiced this to us. It was necessary to keep it going and to expand it. So we began the Leading Man Initiative in March of 2021. We did a 13-week program. We've done 6-week programs. But between all of that, we have consistently showed up on a Monday night or a Tuesday night, and we have set up our week. We have spoken of the hurts and the pains. We have spoken of the victories, the prosperity, the glory, the ups and the downs. And one of the things that I think a lot of men in the industry shy away from, in the industry of men's teamwork, team to men's work, uh, is this word, power. And it could have to do with the fact that powerful men have been known in the past to do evil things. And if you want evidence of it, there's a certain amount of files released by the DOJ that gives you a prime example of that. But honestly, you don't need that. You know, if you grew up in the United States, you know that that is the narrative in TV shows, movies, and it has grown over decades and decades. And we live in a time where we're really breaking the bricks apart of the foundation of things that no longer serve us. So when I talk about masculine power, I'm talking about those little things that make you a man of accountability to yourself, to your mentors, and your community. Maybe not all at once. Maybe it just starts with a mentor before you can even get to yourself. But when you do get to yourself, like the director of accountability here, Ryan Turley, he becomes a beacon to the rest of us. And I know that it's not just working out every single day, it's the things that we read, how we talk to ourselves, how we interact with the interactions coming at us throughout the day. Because we don't control 99% of what's going on around us. But that 1%, I hate to be a cliche, that 1% is the difference maker. So I'd like to discuss some of the stuff that has helped us. For example, I go through phases, and there are times where I listen to my musical programming as I drive to work and have all this people cut me off, crazy traffic, and I'm trying to not respond to that. And it can work for a time, but then I find myself, hey man, go bless your mother, just upset. At least if I remember to say that instead of the negative thing. Um, Another thing that happens in those phases is I switch it up. For example, pretending that I have a podcast with the world. And I say, welcome to the day. My name is Jonathan Navi, and I know you probably should be listening to this on a podcast, and you should be telling this to yourself. But when that's not there, I am right here. And today we're going to put blah, 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 just let my imagination start off because it's the morning, and I don't currently take the time out to meditate, ground myself. I try to get up early enough to have me be present in the shower, getting changed, and ready to go to work on time. I'd love to have what Mr. Turley has and has had for many years is dedicated time to wake up, meditate, work out, do whatever else he may do. And then boom, it's 6 a.m. What? 6:37. I don't know. But we all have to make these choices of power. So, Brian, what are your thoughts on this controversial word called power?
Power. Well, I like the direction you took on it. But I definitely think, especially currently, it seems, um, when I think about power and I think about how much people are struggling in the world, it almost seems like we've let it become a limited resource as well. And instead of um, it being something that everyone can take for themselves, it seems like just financially, capitalism, whatever it may be. And I think it's like people let power be something that's out of their reach, as opposed to, again, setting up personal systems or their personal narrative and beliefs to having power being something that is their birthright or something that they are capable of. And for me, I think it really comes down to, as you were getting at earlier, like that self-control and awareness. Um, I would even say emotional regulation in moments, but it's those moments that you have power over yourself that enable you to move forward with power out to the universe. So it's just the power, your power out in the matrix in the world is limited by the power you have over your own self, whether that be emotions or thoughts, reactions. Um,
It reminds me of the quote that men, if you want to be the most attractive man in the room, be the calmest, safest place to be when this shit and chaos is going down. And I think you said it perfectly. Like it really is not power over an external force, power over your money, power over your boss, if that's a thing, power over your employees. That's more of a thing. Um, it's it's this ability to contain yourself, to be able to assess what's actually needed in the situation. We talked earlier about instant gratification, and you must live outside instant gratification. The marketing technique of instant gratification is to get us to stop thinking, to get us to the yes or no much quicker. So this power, like for me, like I'm talking about power. I'm visualizing that I'm going on a walk throughout my day and I'm remembering to take some 10 deep breaths, hold them each cycle, release them using a 4-4-4 or 7-7-7 or 10-10-10 count. That to me is power because it is nourishing me and gives me the resources to be able to have an interaction with somebody who may be off kilter without joining them and losing my shit. There are people who function from shortcuts to power. Now, I really want to stress the fact that a leading man, a man of integrity, can't deal in shortcuts, cannot deal in getting away with it, whatever it may be. Because even if you don't share your whole life with the entire world, there needs to be a level of transparency with yourself and not in a way where you tell yourself the truth and are okay with it, knowing that you're lying to yourself about it. And unawareness of lying to yourself, that's a little bit different. But I promise you that you have the ability to tell between right and wrong when it comes to integrity and the way that you're behaving. Now, some people may be too deep into their lifelong habits, but we're not trying to change that. We're trying to have a conversation that enters a space that can create leverage and opening for more awareness to flood in. Because if you're in here or partaking in anything where you want that instant gratification, where you want the quick fix, you're not going to last long. You need to be in long enough to get the benefit. And the benefit comes from real time, real effort. There's no magic pill that gets you there. There are magical feelings. There are things that make you feel great and elated in that moment. Like after this call, you hang up and you're like, wow, I feel really great again. If only I could stay up a little bit longer, but it's bedtime and I want to wake up early. That zest and enthusiasm is not a shortcut. It is not a magic pill. It is the natural byproduct of sitting with your authenticity, sitting with people that may or may not agree with you, but got your fucking back. Excuse my language. Excited here. There are people that literally screw people over, and that's their thing, and it sucks. And from my voice to your voice to whoever listens to this, I want to make it extremely clear. We are here to benefit every environment that we're in. That may not always happen, but we never go in there with the intention to make things worse or to screw people over. That is not power. Power is calm. Power is contagious and beautiful and has no problem sharing how that power came to be. Some people are saying now is no gatekeeping here. And that is exactly how we roll.
That power is also, well, you were saying being authentic, but I think also that authenticity becomes to vulnerability as well, and knowing where you're vulnerable, accepting that, and also getting to our blind spots. And that's the bigger importance of this, like these kind of calls and teams and doing this work with other men, is that there's power in knowing that you're not perfect, that there's things you can't see, and then having people that you can trust and openly communicate with. And I wouldn't say it's necessarily handing over your power, but like having the vulnerability and openness to allow yourself to be seen, and um, having accepting help from others. That's power too. Like to know that it's not all on you.
And you may get a compliment that seems to be putting you on a pedestal. Being on a pedestal is not power. To echo what you just said, removing the pedestal, or if somehow miraculously putting everyone else on the pedestal, that is power. Because I have read a lot of books. I have written a lot of essays. I have written a lot of lyrics and songs, and I have thought about a lot of things. I've had so many conversations, and who I am is a byproduct of that work. It doesn't make me better than. And I absolutely know that I am a flawed man. That despite all the stuff that we can share on the call that can help anybody, sometimes I may not be practicing it, but I have to speak to it because I know that it works. And it's a gift to me in that moment because it reminds me. I am very well aware. I'm not the type that likes to give out advice that I am not taking myself. It recalibrates me in that conversation and it allows me to be honest and authentic. Yeah, I fucked up. That's what we do. But you know what else we do? We acknowledge it. We speak to it. And then we try to figure out how we can make sure it doesn't happen again. And will it happen again? Maybe in another form, but we're not in the phase where we keep making the same mistakes or running through the same patterns. We are refining, we are defining what anything means to us, including power. And I think the importance of this conversation is that more men need to experience that authentic power, not that high of power that comes from whatever it is they may be seeking, whether it's money or women or whatever else.
Yeah, I agree. And part of what you said there too is that made me think of like parasocial relationships again, and how so much, even certain people that are in like this field of um, spiritual leadership and all that stuff. Um, I'm not gonna name names, but some of them, even in the aforementioned files, um, and I think it's so easy from a social media perspective to put certain people up on pedestals that you don't truly authentically know, and whatever that image or brand that they've built might not be fully authentic. But it's like, unless it's like people that you're truly deeply connecting with, I think it's hard to fully know. And I think there is, um that's why I do think it's important to separate the art from the artist a lot of times, because at um deep down we have so many parasocial relationships with famous people or people that we think are amazing that we just deep down don't truly know. But I think there's always going to be some takeaway or truth or use to you for something in their message, and it doesn't necessarily have to mean that that person's perfect. Because at the end of the day, they're human and we're all flawed. So I think if we can always just take the useful knowledge or gifts that are given.
Uh, liken power to plants growing. When I got sober from alcohol almost 8 years ago, I started a garden of succulents in Santa Barbara. And a few years later, I found myself in love and moving my whole life to Sacramento with my fiance and her kids. And I took some of those succulents with me. And they bloomed over 4 years in Sacramento. Then moved my family to Phoenix, Arizona, and didn't have my plants for the longest time. I kept thinking about them, and it was such a huge. There was a lot going on, basically. But last year, I was able to visit Sacramento and pick up some of those succulents. And once I did that, I started to collect succulents from different places, and I planted this garden, and it overgrew in my balcony, and they're now laid out the pathway up to our home, and it's so beautiful. I'd love to share videos or pictures with you at some point. um, but there's something in me innate that knows if you just do this, you don't have to go all out to make a beautiful garden. The garden will take care of itself. You remove the weeds, you water it, you sing to it, you give it good vibes, and it does what it does. And my garden is totally blooming, and it's totally unexpected the way that it's set up right now. But it's a natural unflourishing or flourishing, a natural flourishing where, you know, 5 years later it looks completely different, but it just happens. And kids could be a good example. Like one day they're babies, and the next day they're toddlers, and then teenagers and adults. The plant one feels a little bit more contained and easy to understand. And when we shine our personal light on a celebrity, and I say it that way because there's nothing aglow about them except the glow that we give them. We put them on that pedestal, and then they are forced to present something to us, just like the influencers, just like us having this conversation here. There's some sort of performative action, there's some sort of performative communication, and it has to be that way. But I believe that you can tell the difference between something that is completely, that is not accurate, versus, okay, I can gel with that. And I'm not put on a pedestal when I say something that blows your mind. It's just we're having a real conversation. We're all real. So I had I loved Eminem since I was 11 years old. His music, I studied it, I loved it. And at some point in 2009, I believe that I came to the realization that he was never anything to put on a pedestal. And I really respected his craft, his words. I didn't need to believe everything he said. I didn't need to idolize anybody. And I remember in my own head, I don't know if I ever said this to anybody, but I saw him as a colleague that I really respected. That'd be cool to meet one day. And that changed my frame going forward to anybody that I'd want to work with one day. Christopher Nolan seems like he'd be a great guy. I have no idea. And I don't need to project one thing or the other. I know his art to a degree and how it affects me. I don't need to think that this is the best freaking dude ever. It's interesting that you brought up that certain person from the files, um, where I never really resonated with his work. And I'm glad after reading that, I'm like, wow, okay. There are a few, like there is a book that I really liked. Um, and it had to do with the way that we communicate, the magic, the wizarding, the all that stuff. So that, but I never could really get into the other stuff. Unlike his colleagues, where someone, and I'm not putting anyone on a pedestal, everyone's human. From Neil Donald Walsh, who was married and divorced multiple times, to Wayne Dyer, right? Their content above all else and the measured purity, and if you need an explanation on that, we can talk about that later, um, of what is in there. It's like, this is great. I can feast on this. And it was giving me, not taking. Because as somebody that has been in this realm of personal development for 2 decades, I have seen and I have studied under the people that taught the big guys how to be the big guys when they were still starting out. So there's an aspect of, yeah, you can fabricate anything, and that's power. You can get people to believe that you are this, this, and that you have the best relationship, that you are smart with your finances, that you're not a dick to your employees, that all this and that. But we don't know what we don't know. And that's the beauty of this moving away from the mono celebrity aspect of society. There will never be another Michael Jackson, another Whitney Houston. They were in a time that no longer exists. That's why your influencers begin to feel more like celebrities and act like them. When it really boils down, like, what are you doing to cultivate a power that benefits the world? What conversations are you having? What events are you attending? What are you even contemplating that is different than what you contemplated last week? That is different than going to the movie or going to the club or going on another date. Now is the time to sit down with your power selfishly because you need to have that power, but collectively selfishly because the world needs you and your power now more than ever.
I agree. And I would say, and it's your authentic power that only you, any one of you, can do. And it takes that, like we did that exercise earlier, it takes getting blank and finding your truth and what you can bring to the world that will benefit humanity and the planet. And another thing that you said made me think of just since I've started been being in acting class, a lot of people talk about like meeting celebrities and all like freaking out and getting excited and like going to these events and trying to get a picture with them or like that. And ever since I've gotten into acting and wanted to pursue it as a career and be big at it, I've tried to never put any other actors on that pedestal because it's like these are going to be my future peers. Like, why would I treat them? Why would I do that? Like, these are, and I think if you're, especially someone who isn't, like new actors, like all that stuff, like fanboying or fangirling, putting these people out there, it's like you're making what they're doing, their achievements, all that, not in your reality if you're like treating them like they're above human. So it's like you're closing off your potential. That's what it always has felt like for me. So it's like, yeah, don't do that.
I do want to say that it's a mindset that we share. And I can't judge it whether it's the ultimate, like, this is the way for you to behave when you're around celebrities, because I'm sure there's plenty of stories of celebrities now that weren't celebrities that took pictures or fanned out with someone that they ended up working with down the road. Good for them. I feel like that's luck and connection. And I mean, life is luck connection, but it's also something else that we bring to the table that only we can bring to the table. And it's not an exclusive, that's individually, everyone has a certain magic that they bring to the table that only they can bring. So I feel I've been doing thinking this way for a long time, and it just feels better. I don't know. The people that I would fan out about, and I don't even know if I have the ability to get starstruck anymore, would be people that meant so much to me, influenced my consciousness,
Yeah.
influenced a way of being that people have grown to love as Jonathan Navi. Not knowing that, in high school I would listen to John Leguizamo's live one-man show stand-up. And probably some of the reason I talk the way that I do or did at some point was because of that. Because we were around something that gave us benefit. And it's up to us to really create the structures and the metaphorical home, the metaphorical mall for whoever comes into our lives to be able to explore and navigate, you know? So I do want to ask you, as we're nearing the end of the call, um, can you think of a specific time in your life where either you were starstruck or you overcame that aspect or you had an exchange of power, which is a whole nother conversation?
I can think of a time, and it was definitely when I was younger at an Ohio State football game or pre-game thing, and it was waiting in line for an autograph from some former Ohio State player. I can't even remember who it was at the time. But then just like seeing the sea and crowd of all these other humans in line for another human's autograph. And it's just, and like, I know I was young at the time, but even like feeling it then and then like now just coming to me, it's like, it just seems so silly to me, you know? Yeah, yeah, that's what comes to mind. And then I think, um, even now I do think about like that, if who I would be starstruck by. Like, honestly, the ones that I think maybe I'd be like a little bit are actually like celebrity chefs, like a Gordon Ramsay or something. But like, and maybe Tom Hardy and Christian Bale, but um, Daniel Day-Lewis, I think kind of. No, but I feel like I would have like that initial feeling, but like now I just be like, hey, they're humans, and I know some people would be like, if you're out in public, like, oh, let me get a picture. If I saw them, just be like, hey, fan of your work. And then it's like, you don't need to bug them. Because if it's like, if I were in the position, I mean, I might expect it, but it's not like what I would want. Just like, hey, man. I mean, even the other day I saw Jane Lynch, even though I didn't recognize her, it was her right away, but I had no thoughts like afterward, like, oh, should have asked her for a picture or something like that. It's like, no, it's just we're humans. Hi, have a happy day. Like, it's like,
Yeah. Subtle cues uh, is what comes to mind where you mentioned Daniel Day-Lewis, right? And I wouldn't want to bother him. I just want to send a subtle cue. Like, how do I say thank you without bugging him? Oh, okay, let me just do the nod. Would I like to sit down and talk to him? Hell yeah. I was at dinner in Santa Barbara many years ago, and Pink came in, and the person I was with was so excited, but we held the same type of energy. So it's like that conversation, like it would mean a lot to the person I was with to be able to say, your music meant a lot to me, and that's it. Now, no fanning out, just to give them that thank you in some form or fashion goes a longer way than you having a picture that you post everywhere um, right after taking it with them. Not that there's wrong with pictures, it's just the
But
conversation.
ego thing too. I think it's like, oh, look who I met. Look who
Hmm.
validation thing. It's an ego stroking of the ego.
Yeah. And when I was 20, I worked at ArcLight Cinemas in LA, which no longer stands. But there were so many celebrities that would come through. I would see people like a Brad Pitt, and it'd be like, whatever. The one time I got starstruck was the actor J. August Richards, who played Gunn on Angel, who then went on to play characters on Marvel as well. But like, it was so weird because I'm not the type to get starstruck. But I was like, I really like your work. What? I also got starstruck talking to Ryder Strong, who played Sean Hunter on Boy Meets World.
I
And
I actually one time starstruck. Now that I remember, it was Jim Stepani. He's a fitness guy. He was like a fitness influencer before influencing on Instagram and stuff became a thing. He was always working with bodybuilding.com, has like his own supplement line, but he's like this white guy, glasses, and it's got a bunch of like tattooed all the way. And I saw him on an airplane, and since from LAX to Cincinnati, going home one winter break or something. And I remember walking through first class, and I saw standing up, and the woman he was with was like, oh, "I think that guy wants to talk to you." And I like looked down, and I was like, "Hey, Jim." I didn't remember, like, I just like said the dumbest like I think I mumbled like two words and then said my name. Um, but it was kind of funny. So I guess. But now that was like probably 8 or so years ago, and I don't think I would have that kind of reaction to anyone, but I can't say that I wouldn't for certain. But
yeah, I think there's the phrase main character energy. And what we're talking about is something beyond that. It's, who wrote the main character, who directed the whole thing. It's an ensemble that we all hold, but we're recognizing it in the people that we've been told, like, we need to worship, we need to idolize and throw our money at. Well, at the end of the day, like, I love being able to say Ryan Turley or Thayer Brown, like, name in lights type of energy, because everybody deserves that. I just met you for the first time. I'm going to give you a big welcome back into my life and introduce myself and then learn about all the ways that you deserve to be praised and acknowledged. For that may direct you. It's not just to glaze you, it may direct you to do something, to read something, to explore something that then opens up another level of experiencing life. So I want to thank you for tuning in. Ryan, I want to thank you for this conversation. And after we do our little prayer out for our listeners, I'd love to just hold a few moments with you for us to send some positive energy to all the men that have graced our call here and anybody that may be listening to this particular replay. So join me in this prayer. Center yourself once again and again and again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mighty I am presence, here we are, a projection of thyself. Glorify thyself in us, in the projection of thy wondrous perfection and mighty directing intelligence. Cause our bodies to glow with thy perfect health and strength. Cause our minds and bodies to glow with the fullness of thy health and energy, with thy light substance called forth from the love star. Charge us, our minds, bodies, and worlds, with the fullness of this light substance, and cause the intelligence which thou art, O mighty I am presence, to sweep into action in our world and produce thy perfection and hold thy dominion there. Thank you, God, for this powerful, easeful week ahead of us. Thank you for the healing, the health, the blessings and prosperity. Thank you for the connections. Thank you for the awareness. and the privilege to be able to have these conversations. Today and always in all ways, so it is done and so it is. Heavens, yes, we're so blessed. Only something great can come from this. In the name of all that is good and all that is God, we are so blessed. Amen.